controversy over the simultaneous polls in the country has heated up. And right now there is, of course, mass criticism that has been coming up from the opposition camps as well when it is being talked about the one nation, one election strategy by the central government. Joining me right now is the former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh and also Senior Congress Leader T.S. Singh Deo. Thank you for speaking to NewsX, sir. What is exactly the Congress's stand at this given point of time when we talk about the one nation, one election, given the fact that it is also going to be now taken up in the winter session as well?
Frankly, I'm not authorized by the Congress to speak on its behalf. I can speak from my side as a citizen and as a congressperson. See, there would be, amongst many aspects, two aspects to this simultaneous elections and recurring, continuing simultaneous elections. Elections taking place every 5 years without break in perpetuity in times to come, till we are a democracy, etc. So one is, you have elections every 5 years. There's no issue. What is the issue is that your constitution says that an government is to be elected for 5 years. When an election takes place, the term for that body would be 5 years. You started elections in the country in, let us say, 1952-53. There must have been simultaneous Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha elections would have taken place, let us say, together. You elected for 5 years, 52 to 57. Somewhere a government falls, not that it did, but just to hypothesize, a government falls in 55 and it is elected for 5 years. So their term will end in 1960, whereas the other bodies, other state and central Lok Sabha would end their term in 1957. So how do you have one nation, one election in continuity with constitutional provisions for a new government to have a 5-year term? So it cannot be. It just cannot happen. How can it happen? You change the constitution and you say that from, let us say, the 1st of January 2025, coming 1st of January 2025, you start one nation, one election. And all the states and the Lok Sabha will go into elections. Their term will be for 5 years. If any government, whether at the center or any of the states, falls in between, their new election, fresh election, will be for the balance period of 5 years. Remaining term. Otherwise, you cannot have it. And this is no rocket science. This is nothing coming out of the blue. This is what is happening in local bodies. In local bodies, if a body falls, whether it is a municipal body or a Jilla Panchayat, or you have by-elections to a Lok Sabha seat or a Vidhan Sabha seat which is vacated, it is always for the balance period. You don't become elected as a member of parliament for 5 years. You're elected, and in between, if the seat falls vacant for whatever reason, Rahul ji is now retaining Raebareli and not Wayanad, so Wayanad election will take place. It will not take place for 5 years. It will take place for the balance period of 5 years. So you have to do that. Only then it can happen. So the talk about one nation, one election being anything is nothing more than saying that we want to make a change in the constitution. That no elected body will last more than the 5-year term. That is one. Without that, you cannot have. Otherwise, then you go into vague things, and I don't think anybody is really thinking about that. That you have president's rule or you have governor's rule. If a government falls in between, if you have an election for 5 years, then it will break the 5-year cycle. So that is just a theoretical, very vague possibility. The other is, how do you start? I said 1st of January 2025. So the Lok Sabha will be dissolved. The Vidhan Sabhas of, let us say, the states which have just gone to the polls Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, Puducherry, Telangana, Odisha, northeastern states, Bengal, Bihar, UP. And what will happen to the states who are going to elections right now? J&K has just gone for elections with Haryana. Maharashtra and Jharkhand are going for elections. What will happen to them? What will happen to Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, who went to polls 1 year back, less than 1 year back? Our results were declared next is Bihar. So where do you start? So you dissolve all these bodies who have gone for elections for their 5-year term and start from a particular cutoff date. How do you do it? Will it be acceptable to all these various elected, constitutionally elected bodies of various political parties? So how do you do it? So one is the practicality and the other is no issue. That you have a simple change in the constitution, that 5-year thing. There'll never be any issue. So how do you do it?